welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, hi, my name is Lisa and I love everything colorful makeup. I love all indie brands. Yes, I do. And welcome to another episode of Music Inside the Makeup. And I was going to do 2 palettes, 2 looks, 2 bands, 2 songs, right? It's Friday the 27th. And I'm filming this, and I'm supposed to have it off for you the 28th, which is tomorrow, and I still have to edit. So I think I'm going to save the 2 for next month, for July. But this month is Def Leppard. I have seen Def Leppard in concert many years ago when Joan Jett opened for them way up north in Vermont. And this is the palette that I chose, which is by Gourmande Girls. And yes, it's a Christmas palette. Yes, it is, but you know that I do not follow trends. I wear what I want to wear, when I want to wear it, and I do match my shadow to my clothes or my earrings, you know, what I'm wearing. I just do. Call me a rogue, call me a rebel, I don't know. The song that I chose from Def Leppard is Rock of Ages. You cannot tell me when that comes on the radio. It is a timeless classic for rock and roll that you don't want to get your ass up and start just rocking out, dancing, and blaring it full blast, especially in the summertime. But again, Silent Night by Gourmande Girls. I just received this a couple of days ago, and I was looking at it, and it reminded me of like the Hysteria cover. Does it not? Except for there's like no red, right? Like it just reminds me of their album cover, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to change it up and I'm going to use this palette. I've created 2 looks already. This is the second look and I think it came out gorgeous in my opinion. I think I could have moved the blue and had this more yellow. And I think, you know, because we're going to recreate this look over here. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to change it up so that it kind of is more yellow right here. But if you're new, hi, I hope you subscribe. And this is Music Inside the Makeup. Talking about Def Leppard, what I do is I talk a little bit about the history of the band. I'm still trying to figure out how to put music in without getting copyright. I did download YouTube Music, so maybe that may be the key. Not sure. But while we're recreating the look, if it's playing, then you know that I figured it out. And the song, once again, is going to be Rock of Ages. This is my second palette from Gourmande Girls. And the first palette was the Call of the Sirens, and they have a new launch, Mocha Moment. And I'm not a neutral palette kind of galley or color story, but that one, it has green in it. Kind of didn't make sense to me for a second, but then when I saw it swatched out, I'm like, okay. I see you, Gourmande Girls. I see you. So I'm definitely probably going to pick that palette up for sure. But this, you guys, stop. And I've swatched it out. They came out with this last Christmas. And I've been eyeing this palette for a long time. And it was on sale. Like, you just can't. So I am going to read a little bit about Def Leppard. And this is common knowledge, public knowledge from the artist's profile on Spotify. It's where I get my information. I'm gonna throw my glasses on and we are gonna read a little bit about Def Leppard. So on Spotify, there is 8,803,100 listeners, including myself, monthly listeners, okay? So Def Leppard are one of the most successful hard rock bands to ever wield 6 strings. Their blend of glam rock, hair metal, and big pop ballads led to massive wave of success in the 80s. Wish I could go back to the 80s, y'all. That the band has continued to ride over the ensuing decades. Emerging in the late 70s as part of the new wave of British heavy metal, they gained a following outside of that scene by toning down their heavy riffs and emphasizing melody after a couple of strong albums They found crossover success with 1983's Pyromania and skillfully used the fledgling MTV network, MTV, when it was actually MTV, Music TV, okay? When it was real, Headbangers Ball, every Saturday night, 11 o'clock. Let me get a hell yeah in the comments, right? Skillfully used the fledgling MTV network to their advantage. They reached the pinnacle of their career with 1987's blockbuster Hysteria, then had another big hit, 1992's Adrenalize, that defied the mainstream, turned toward grunge. After that, the band settled into a pattern of touring exhaustively and releasing an album every few years, maintaining a steady audience and occasionally surprising fans with a new album like 2008's Yeah or 2022's Diamond Star Halos that hark back to the sound of their glory days. Def Leppard originated in Sheffield-based group that teenagers Rick Savage, bass, and Pete Willis, guitar, formed in 1977. Vocalist Joe Elliott, a fanatical follower of Mott the Hoople and T-Rex, joined the band several months later, bringing the name Def Leppard with him. After a spelling change, the trio, augmented by a now forgotten drummer, began playing local Sheffield pubs, and within a year, the band had lineup as well as a new drummer. Later in 1978, they recorded their debut EP, Get Your Rocks Off, and released it on their own label, Bludgeon Rafola. The EP became a word-of-mouth success, earning an airplay on the BBC. Following the release of Get Your Rocks Off, 15-year-old Rick Allen was added to the band's permanent drummer, and Def Leppard quickly became the toast of the British music weeklies. They soon signed with AC/DC's manager, Pete Mensch, who helped them secure a contract with Mercury Records. On Through the Night, the band's full-length debut, was released in 1980 and instantly became a hit in the UK, also earning significant airplay in the US, where it reached number 51 on the charts. Over the course of a year, Def Leppard relentlessly toured Britain and America, playing their own shows while also opening concerts for Ozzy Osbourne, Sammy Hagar, and Judas Priest. High and Dry followed in 1981 and became the group's first platinum album in the US. Thanks to MTV's strong rotation of Bringing on the Heartache, as the band recorded the follow-up to High and Dry with producer Mutt Lange. Pete Willis was fired from the group because of his alcoholism, and Phil Collen, a former guitarist for Girl, was hired to replace him. The resulting album, 1983's Pyromania, became an unexpected blockbuster due not only to Def Leppard's skillful melodic metal, but also to MTV's repeated airing of Photograph and Rock of Ages. Hell yeah. Pyromania went on to sell 10 million copies, establishing Def Leppard as one of the most popular bands in the world. Despite their success, they were about to enter a trying time in their career. Following an extensive international tour, the group re-entered the studio to record the follow-up, but producer Lange was unavailable, so they began sessions with Jim Steinman, the man responsible for Meatloaf's Bat Out of Hell. The pairing turned out to be ill-advised, so the band members turned to their former engineer, Nigel Green. 1 month into recording, Allen lost his left arm in a New Year's Eve car accident. The arm was reattached, but it had to be amputated once an infection had set in. Def Leppard's future looked cloudy without a drummer. But the spring of 1985, just a few months after the accident, Allen began learning to play a custom-made electronic kit assembled for him by Simmons. The band soon resumed recording, and within a few months, Lange was back on board, having judged all the existing tapes inferior. He ordered the band to begin work all over again. Recording sessions continued throughout 1986, and that summer, the group returned to the stage for European Monsters of Rock tour. Def Leppard finally completed their fourth album, now titled Hysteria, early in 1987. The record was released that spring to lukewarm reviews, with many critics claiming that the album comprised Leppard's metal roots for sweet pop flourishes. Accordingly, Hysteria was slow out of the starting gate. Woman, the first single, failed to really take hold, but the release of Animal helped the album gather steam. The song became Def Leppard's first top 40 hit in the UK, but more importantly, it launched a string of 6 straight top 20 hits in the US, which also included Hysteria, Pour Some Sugar on Me, Love Bites, Armageddon It, and Rocket. The latter of which arrived in 1989, a full 2 years after the release of Hysteria. During those 2 years, Def Leppard's presence was unavoidable. They were the kings of high school metal, ruling the pop charts and MTV, and teenagers and bands alike replicated their teased hair and ripped jeans, even when the grimy hard rock of Guns N' Roses took hold in 1988. Hysteria proved to be the peak of Leppard's popularity, yet their follow-up remained eagerly awaited in the early 90s as the band took a break from the road and set to work on a new record. During the recording process, however, Steve Clark died from an overdose of alcohol and drugs. Clark had historically battled alcohol and following their Hysteria heyday, his bandmates forced him to take a sabbatical. Although he did enter rehab, Clark's habits continued, and his abuse was so crippling that Colin began recording the majority of the band's guitar leads. Following Clark's death, Def Leppard resolved to finish their forthcoming album as a quartet. Releasing Adrenalize in the spring of 1992, Adrenalize was greeted with mixed reviews, and even though the album debuted at number 1 and contained several successful singles, including the top 20 hits, Let's Get Rocked, notable for having one of the first ever CGI music videos, and Have You Ever Needed Someone So Bad. The record was a commercial disappointment in the wake of Pyromania and Hysteria. After its release, the group added former Whitesnake guitarist Vivian Campbell to the lineup, thus resuming Def Leppard's 2-guitar attack. In 1993, Def Leppard issued the Rarities Collection Retroactive, which yielded another top 20 hit with the acoustic ballad Two Steps Behind. 2 years later, the group released the Greatest Hits Collection Vault while preparing for their 6th album. Slang arrived in the spring of 1996. And while it proved more adventurous than its predecessor, it was greeted with indifference, indicating that Leppard's heyday had indeed passed, and they were now simply a very popular cult band. Undaunted, Leppard soldiered on, returning to their Euphoria, which was released in June of 1999. Despite the success of Promises, the record failed to produce any additional hits, resulting in a return to adult pop balladry on 2002's X. The 2-disc Rock of Ages, the definitive collection, arrived in 2005, followed in 2006 by Yeah, a strong collection of covers. In 2008, the guys released their 10th studio album, Songs from the Sparkle Lounge, which debuted at number 5 and was supported by a lucrative summer tour. Material from that tour helped make up the bulk of 2011's Mirror Ball. Live and More, a 3-disc live album containing a full concert, 3 new studio recordings, and DVD footage. Another live album followed 2 years later, Viva. Hysteria found Def Leppard running through their 1987 blockbuster in its entirety on the first disc, and a collection of early, rarely played material on the second. In 2015, the band released Def Leppard, their 11th studio album and first collection of original music since 2008. In February 2017, the group issued And There Will Be a Next Time, a live album culled from the Def Leppard supporting tour. Later that year, a super deluxe edition of Hysteria came out in celebration of the record's 30th anniversary. Oh my God, I feel old. Further repackagings continued in 2018 with the box set of their 80s albums entitled Collection Volume 1 and The Story So Far. The Best of Def Leppard, a multi-disc set that included the band's first 4 studio albums and various rarities. The next year saw the release of the Collection Volume 2, a set of their 90s records, and The Story So Far, Volume 2, hits and B-sides, which picked up where the first volume left off with material from the band's 90s run and beyond. Def Leppard continued to tour on a regular basis and played a Las Vegas residency. Then in 2020 issued a collection of their first 2 albums, plus a live set and BBC sessions titled The Early Years 79 to 81. After this slew of live and reissued material, the band finally released another studio album in 2022, their 12th, entitled Diamond Star Halos. It was heralded by the barnstorming old school promo track Kick. It featured 2 collaborations with Alison Krauss. In 2023, the band issued Drastic Symphonies, a set of reimagined Lep classics and hidden gems recorded with London's Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Stephen Thomas Erlewine Rovey is who I am citing for all that information for Def Leppard, the artists on Spotify. Public knowledge. So with that, when I saw them in concert, like, you know, growing up and you're listening to these bands that you absolutely love, right? And you see them in concert and you're just like in awe, right? And your favorite songs come on and the fireworks and the fire and the smoke and the whole shebang is going on and you're just like jamming out and having a great time. And that is what concerts are all about, having fun and being there and seeing, you know, your favorite band play in person and just listening to these songs that, you know, it definitely brought me back because it had been many years afterwards, you know, as an adult that I was able to go and see them. I had a blast, and concerts are always a great time. What can you say? They're iconic. They're another iconic band from my childhood, growing up, and I still love them to this day. So let me know in the comments, have you guys ever seen Def Leppard in concert? Let me know. I'd love to hear from you. We are going to recreate this look, and hopefully you will hear Rock of Ages in background while we do this look, if I'm ever going to freaking try to figure it out. Grab your brushes. Maybe you have this palette. If not, maybe you have one in your collection similar to the color story or whatever color story you want. And hey, it's the weekend. So grab your toddy or grab your coffee, your Gatorade, your water, whatever. Crank up those tunes and let's recreate this beautiful look, in my opinion. Okay, I have to apologize. It is Saturday, so this probably won't go up until Sunday. We're gonna do both eyes. So let's get to it. Grab your coffee, your drink, your water, your brushes. Let's go. I'm gonna grab my coffee right here. Now, hopefully, I will be able to put Rock of Ages going while we're doing this. Can't promise anything, but if you're listening to it right now, then I found it. I found out how to do it. This formula is beautiful. It's beautiful. I fell in love with Gourmande Girls with Call of the Sirens. It's just a beautiful, beautiful formula. This same, it's just gorgeous. this color story. I mean, again, I love blue and yellow. I don't know. It just does something for me. I don't know. This yellow is really pigmented. Bravo, Gourmande Girls. Bravo. So we are going into the yellow, which is Mother. Oh. I'm going to start with the right eye here. And I'm going to put this yellow all in here on my lid, but I'm gonna go farther out like I said I wanted to, that I wish I did when I did it the first time. My lids are primed with my MAC paint pot in soft ochre. Hopefully you guys can see. And I'm packing this on because I want it to be vibrant. And then I'm kind of spreading it. Really should have made sure I didn't have creasing like a dumbass. And there is shimmer that's gonna go over this. So, but this look, again, if you've been with me for a little while, you know I love to create looks that you could just leave as is as a matte look, because I love a good matte look. But with this one, you definitely could. But we're gonna play with these shimmers because they're gorgeous. As I was looking in the videos that I had created, the content, and I'm like, you know what? It just looks weird where it stops, just right there with the blue. You know what I mean? So it needed to either go in all the way or just keeping it in the V like this. And I find that this is gonna definitely work out much better, look much better. Now we're patting just to blend out that harsh edge up here. And I'm keeping it right in my swoop here, in my crease, my natural crease, because we as hooded gals here. And I did go above, as you can see, to create false crease. Please excuse the TV. I am just kind of finessing this now in the swoop, patting that line. Getting my shape that I want. And I'm still leaving this at an angle because I believe that, you know, this is going to be blue. And of course, if these are contrasting colors, right? So if we mix blue with yellow, we're going to get green. And we don't want that. So when I do connect this, I just need to be very careful with the blending. So I am going to do this on the other eye, and I will be right back. Okay, now I've got that eye done. We are going to move over into the blue. Just wanting to put the color down, and I am going to take, it says another Sigma, and this is the E54, but this is out of the Heather Austin set. And we are going to go into Silent Night. This beautiful navy. Whew. Gorge. Okay. I must have slept wrong because I've got like a kink in my neck. And I'm going to come at this in an angle, and I'm going to V this out. Right up. Meeting the yellow, but really not touching the yellow. Now again, this is gonna look like a hot mess before it gets better. Trust the process. Again, meeting up with the blue, the yellow. Trying not to touch, just being very careful. V'ing this out. Getting it into that crease. I don't know if I want to do a ranking or if I just want to do palettes I've tried. Let me know in the comments what would you like, a ranking of the palettes I've tried this far, or just showing you the palettes that I've tried this far and maybe some swatches? Let me know. Yeah, squirrel moment. Forgot what I was saying beforehand. Oh. I'm wiping it off, but I'm going to go in with more product because I'm going to deepen this up more. I'm going to do this on the other eye, and I'll be right back. Okay, here's where we're at. Now I'm going to take the Sigma E21, which is out of the Glitzy Fritzy. It's very small domed smudger. I'm gonna work this lower lash line, going back in with Silent Night, that dark blue we've been using, and very carefully kind of connect this here. Right here diagonally where this stops. So I can see this line here, of course, because of my hood and coming inwards, but when I look up, it makes sense, or when you see to the side, it makes sense, and when it's completed, it definitely will make sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump the gun, and I'm gonna put liner in. I know this isn't what you should do, but I have this really beautiful dark navy blue. Both of these are from NYX. So I am jumping the gun here. I may have to fix this later. Okay, now that I have the yellow liner down, I'm gonna put this blue liner right onto where that blue shadow is and kind of meet up with the yellow carefully so we don't make it green. So again, I'm jumping the gun by putting liner on right now, but so we're gonna go into the yellow with that small smudger and go into the inner corner in the inner part of the lower lash line, lining my waterline on top of the liner that I put there, just right on the lash line. Okay, so now that that is completed, we are going to start blending and making this look pretty and cohesive. So 36, which is a very small blending brush. We're gonna go into the white, which is snowy, right here. I'm gonna use this side to show you. I'm gonna start on the inner corner, and I'm just going to tap this in along this edge where the yellow is, and I'm gonna lighten it up and blend out this very harsh line in the swoop of the crease. Very gently, back and forth motions in the swoop. So that there, see the difference of this real harsh line to where now it's blended out, softer. That's what we want. So I'm going back in with more white, snowy. And again, just tapping on the edge. Right up to the yellow. We are going to use the white on the blue as well, but I'm just working with the yellow right now so I don't cross-contaminate and make this green. Like a tickle, blending that white right here, up and down. I'm not dragging the yellow. I'm just blending that white in this negative space here. So now I'm going to put this white all on my brow bone in this negative space here. Right above the blue. Don't want to touch the blue just yet. Go in the white one more time on the yellow. Finish this harsh line. Blending this out very carefully, right where, tapping right next to that blue. Just not touching it, but tapping out that harsh line. There, that looks so much better. So I am gonna do that on this side and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that I have that done, I also took the same brush and kind of just blended the blue out a little bit, wiped off my brush. Now we're gonna go into the white again and carefully blending the outside. So actually I think I'm gonna start outer corner. This probably isn't the greatest brush to do this. Actually, I think I'm gonna switch brushes because I am going to tap this on right on the edge of the blue. I do apologize about the TV. I am going to do the same thing to this side, and I hope you're following along with me. I truly do, and I will be right back. So here is where I'm at, and I took this brush here, which is the E42. That was in the Heather Austin set. And what I did, I'm gonna have to go back in with this brush with the Silent Night with the blue, but I did take this brush and blended the white on the edges, blew this out a little bit and blended the edges out, switched to this brush, no product, and the way that this is tapered, pressing and just blending, and then small little side motions, just very tiny, like a tickle, and pulled that pigment out and blended that out. No additional product, just this step, press tapping, and then small little side to side to blend that out even more, and then cleaned off my brush and ever so gently just pressed. No swiping, no circ, just tap to soften this line. And I am going to put more blue. And then we're going to go back in with this brush with the white again. So it's going to be back and forth. Same process. So I'm going to do that. And actually, I'll do this part to show you. And again, I'm just explaining it as a beginner. I don't claim to be a makeup artist, and you know, some people would consider this horrible and ugly, but I believe that this is coming along really beautiful. So if I can be of some sort of help, then I'm happy to do so. And we're having fun. That's the whole point. Self-expression, having fun, enjoying the color, the textures of shadows. Yeah, so this is literally tapping this color. We're just re-intensifying the color that we lost during this blend. Again, you just trusting the process, because it always kind of looks like a hot mess before you start to see the vision. We are going to do the next steps, but I will be right back. It's time. It's time. I get so excited. So excited. All right. What shimmers? Do I want to use the same shimmers I used yesterday? Glitter glue. NYX glitter glue. Put this on. Oh my god, my neck is killing me. I know I slept wrong. I definitely had to have. And spread this all over. Getting right into your crease here, the swoop, just underneath. And I'll do this eye with you guys, and I'll do the other one off camera. So I almost want to use NYX glitter glue on this eye and no glitter glue on this eye. I think I'm going to do that. I wish they would have put a navy blue shimmer in here with like silver or a sequin matte. But actually, no, I definitely a navy blue shimmer. That, oh boy. You know, I think a color story that I think that I would do if I were to create a palette. Blue and yellow, and or I would create like a green palette for sure with some neutrals, a black, because I love my greens, y'all. You know this. I'm gonna use my finger because these are foily. So nice when I received my packet. Squirrel from Gourmande Girls. Thank you for your purchase. I just thought, I love when brands do this. It is just a really nice touch and a personal touch. And down here it says love stuff. And on the back, hand signature from the owner. Thank you, Lisa. Love, Christina. XOXO. I love this. I always keep my cards, especially the very first one, the first palette that I get, the first order that I get from the brand, and especially if they personalize it, I will cherish this because I love that. I'm gonna go into Frosty. She is just, oh, love it. And she's a little foily, but not, oh. Oh boy, yeah. Anything with glycerin, this is from Pixie. And I'm just gonna use this mirror. Okay, so you can see where the yellow lifted, which probably from me, definitely, I think when I smoothed it out, I think I put too much pressure and it kind of just lifted the yellow underneath. We're gonna go into the yellow gold. The EO9 here. Definitely foily, so we are definitely gonna spray this. And here we go on this line. Pulling it inward. I want to fix that, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. There's no way to fix it without starting clearing that whole lid, and I'm not doing that. No, I'm not. I think I am going to put this darker blue just right here. I'm just going to put it on top of this gold because I pretty much should have done that to begin with, I think. Fantasy Cosmetica. Going to use Peace, the shimmer I used yesterday, which I should have stuck to. And put that in my inner corner on my brow bone. Kind of going up into the swoop just a little. I'm gonna bring it down to the inner lower lash line. And also putting this on my brow bone, like I said, to give it a little highlight, some shimmer. More is more. Can never have enough shiny things. This is gonna bug the crap out of me, but we're gonna do this eye, so this eye is gonna be perfect. We hope, right? The tapered. This is my workhorse. Love this brush. Going into the dark blue we started off with, so that we can blend the outside together. Finish this eye up. And just getting this blue coming in diagonal here on top of that shimmer. Yeah. Do this eye with no glitter glue and see what these shimmers do with no glitter glue. And I'm gonna put mascara on, Lancome, the Idol, and lashes, and then this look is gonna be completed. On this eye though, I'm gonna use the shimmers that I used yesterday, which is this one, the gold and the blue. Use my finger. So no glitter glue on this eye. Just want to tap this on so we can still see the yellow. I don't know why I didn't do this to begin with. I feel like this looks so much better than this. You know, the nicks and crannies in the crease here. Corner. I'm gonna do the blue instead of the gold. But go back in my Fantasy Cosmetica, and this time on this eye, I'm gonna use Frosty on the inner corner and my brow bone. The highlight. I am going to take my EO1, this blue down here, and I am gonna spray this one because she is a foily girl. And we're gonna put this on the line here. This is what I used yesterday. And those, oh, that looks so, so pretty. Really pretty. Oh yeah, but this just makes more sense than using Frosty on the lid with the yellow anyways, but that's okay. That is all right. So now my EO1 going into the blue we started with to blend the outer corner. And like I said, after I do this, I'm gonna put mascara and a lash, and I'll be right back with the finished look. Here's the finished look. Yes, this eye got a little jacked. Okay, but we fixed it. We fixed it. And off camera, I blended a little bit more. Now, I initially was going to take my cellular water and a Q-tip and kind of clean this up. But I feel like, you know, I got the upward kind of cat eye lift going, and I wanted to keep this blend of white here with the blue, so I did not do that. But I do believe that I love this eye better, my right eye. Let me know in the comments, which one do you like? This one or this one? I love them both, to be honest. But this just lifted with the NYX glitter glue. I think I just kind of pressed too hard and it kind of lifted the matte white, matte yellow underneath. Not a big deal. This, just because it is a Christmas palette, don't mean shit. Wear what you want to wear when you want to wear it. So I hope you guys enjoyed music inside the makeup. Sorry it's late. And here I am saying it was going to be up Saturday, and I'm filming the rest of it Saturday. So it might not be up till Sunday. It's like this doesn't want to go up or something. But it will be. So if you're not seeing this on Saturday night, you're definitely seeing this Sunday morning for sure, Sunday afternoon. But this, it definitely matches, like I said, you know, the PYROMANIA cover. I, again, hope you guys enjoyed this month's Music Inside the Makeup. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Let me know in the comments, do you like this kind of content with mixing, well, my two passions, music and makeup, together? Do you like hearing about the bands? Let me know. I love hearing from you. And again, if you're new, hopefully you subscribe and give this video a big thumbs up. And please do share and comment, because it truly does help out my channel. I also will link Gourmande Girls website for you guys in the description box per usual. So with that, I hope to see you on the next one. This is a gorgeous palette, y'all. Gorgeous palette. So keep rocking.